Hello, I'm Lieutenant General Todd Semonite, 54th Chief of Engineers, and we're on the road again today in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And we're standing right on the banks of the Cedar River. With me is a District Commander from Rock Island, Colonel Steve Sattinger. Steve, amazing groundbreaking we just had behind us. You see the flags, you see the shovels. Right. Two senators that were here, probably 150, 200 people. So what happened here back in 2008, and what was the need for this great flood control project that we're getting ready to start on? I think the total project for us is about $160 million, but that's still a subset of what the rest of the city's going to do, which could be around $800 million altogether. But Steve, kind of walk us through what's the requirement and what are we doing?
Sure. So the floods of 2008, incredibly devastating, 10 foot higher than ever recorded in history before. Where I'm standing right now on the top of a bridge, the water was about 2 feet above my head at this point.
Wow.
Thousands of homes were destroyed, billions of dollars worth of damage. The Corps of Engineers came in and helped the city with the feasibility study, which was completed, the Chief's report in 2011. The project was authorized in 2014 and it stalled. And it took a lot of hard work by a lot of people in the Iowa delegation, in the federal government, state and local government to get this project off the ground. This is a community worth protecting, and I'm proud to be part of what they're doing here. So in 2018, after 4 years of really no work other than by the city trying to catch up, the BBA 18, the supplemental project, was passed. The whole $17.4 billion included $117 million for our portion of the project. The city's kicking in an additional $40 million. 3 months after the official word that this project was going to be funded, we signed the PPA, and not to brag, but I think we were the first in the Corps to get that across the line, sir.
And Steve, how long will this total project take on our part of it?
We're committed to being done by January 2023. That was the guidance we got, and we're going to do it.
Okay, so with this is Jason Smith. He's the real lead here for Colonel Sattinger down on the ground. Jason, so kind of walk through what does this system entail, all the things we're doing, and maybe just kind of talk about some of the parts, and then what are we doing specifically standing right here on this bridge?
Yes, sir. So the total system is 3.5 miles of flood protection system. That's a combination of levees, flood walls. We have numerous pump stations, gate wells, and closure structures, both on roadways like what we're standing behind, as well as on railroads to close those off. This is definitely a critical project. This particular item is a 16th Avenue closure structure that we're breaking ground on today, and that's the first of 8 federal Corps projects that we're expecting to contract.
Okay, now some other things though, pump stations, gate wells, what do those things entail?
Yeah, so pump stations are essentially to get the interior water outside of the back, the area behind the levee. And then gate wells are the valve. You can think of it like a valve on your plumbing at home, that you go ahead and shut it off so that the river doesn't come back in behind the flood wall and levee system, sir.
So the other thing too is that there's a lot of different roads that go across this river. So everywhere where these roads come across, again, you need some type of a closure structure, and it really is a system. You got both sides of the river here. And just look over here, Jason. So a long time ago, the city ended up doing some work with a levee and the concrete wall. But note how that wall just stops. And there's another one over here to my right. But this is where there are holes in this system because we just couldn't get the funding we needed to. And the Colonel used the word stall, but it goes back to, I think, those in the federal and the state government who knew that we had a problem here. We knew that we had to provide more protection for the citizens of Cedar Rapids. And part of this is working with the federal government to get through what we call the benefit cost ratio. And this is a great success where Congress did that to be able to allow this project to get funded. The other thing I think is important here, I'm going to ask you about this, is that I think as I look at all the projects we're doing now, I think right now we're doing $55 billion worth of work. And it's not concrete and steel that you got to build that's what's most important, but it really goes back to these relationships and partnerships. And Jason, this project is one where the city's been leaning far forward. Everybody is connecting. You got industry, local, state, federal officials, everybody pulling together. How do you form that kind of a team, or if nothing else, how do you make sure you leverage that to get this project done?
Yeah. So from 2012, the Corps has remained engaged to the maximum extent that we could to coordinate and stay engaged with the city as they work through the WRDA process and getting into the 2014 WRDA. At this point in time, we continue to engage actively with the railroad and with many of the industry landowners that are within the system. And the city has done an outstanding job, as you mentioned, of solidifying those relationships over the years. So it's made it easy for us, both with the industry as well as utility companies and others.
Well, to both of you guys, great work on the part of the district. You know, my two priorities are really delivering the program, you got to do that here, and to revolutionize the Corps of Engineers. And this project has the potential, a 5 years fast-track program, to really continue to show the American public that we are going to streamline. We're going to deliver quality products, but we're going to do it on time. We're going to try to do it at or below cost. So I'm proud of everything you guys have done, and you got to get this thing knocked out, because the people of Cedar Rapids are counting on you, and we know that we're going to make this happen. So from the banks of the Cedar River, Chief of Engineers Todd Semonite on the road again, and I always say, we're Army strong, we're building strong. Today we're Cedar Rapids strong.
Cool.